Hi BookTube, thank you so much for watching my channel, Books I'm Not Reading. My name is Kelly, and I am here today to introduce a new series related to the Pulitzer Prize for fiction. If you've been watching my channel for any amount of time, you know that I've read all of the books that have won the Pulitzer Prize for fiction, or as it was previously known, the Pulitzer Prize Award for the novel. I did most of this in a span of about 26 months, starting in 2007. And I will, in my next video, tell you more about my own personal journey with the Pulitzers. But I wanted to kind of start the series off with an introduction just to get some basic facts about the Pulitzer Prize out of the way so that we don't have to talk about them in every video as part of this series. I made some videos about the Pulitzer Prize early on in the history of my channel, and then as the Pulitzer Prize came up in other videos, I would say I've read all of the books that have won the Pulitzer Prize for fiction, and I always feel a bit pretentious in doing that. So I was very surprised when this kind of idea for a series came up on my channel by how many people really wanted to see a lot of content related to the Pulitzer. And some of you gave me some very challenging ideas, so I hope to take some of those on in the future. I hope that I can do kind of a historical Pulitzer Prize video at least once a year. But this year we have a little extra time because for reasons unknown, Pulitzers were postponed this year until June, announcing the winners. And typically they are announced in April. So just a little bit about how the award is given. So these awards come through Columbia University. In America, I think typically the Pulitzers are more famous for the journalism awards they give rather than the literary awards, but definitely it certainly can make a difference in the life of an author to win the Pulitzer Prize for fiction, which, by the way, also comes with a check for $15,000. So each year there is a fiction jury. Now, my understanding is that typically it's 3 people, although I have read about years where there were only 2 people on the fiction jury. They give 3 books to the Pulitzer Committee. Now, sometimes, my understanding again, and I'm not in the room, so I don't know exactly how it works, but sometimes they say, oh, we think of the 3, this is the winner. But it's really up to the Pulitzer Committee to decide whether or not they want to pick that book. Sometimes they reject that book and pick one of the other ones. And some years, there have been 10 years since the Pulitzer Prize for fiction or the novel, 10 years since 1918 that no Pulitzer Prize for fiction has been given. And we'll talk about that maybe a little bit in some of the other videos. So, the Pulitzer Prize for fiction, initially at least, was meant to say something about America. And I think that's one of the things that I've really enjoyed about reading the Pulitzer Prize for fiction is that it teaches me something about America at that time. Right, so if we think about, let's see, what year was it? Oh my goodness, I should know this. So 2019, the Pulitzer Prize for fiction went to The Overstory by Richard Powers. And I felt like that was a really timely and appropriate book to talk about what's happening in America. It's a novel about trees. It's very much about the environment. And yeah, so I felt like that really made a lot of sense. Some years, it doesn't seem to be so much about America, and I'm not sure why that is, but again, that could be another video at some point. The Pulitzer Prize awards that just don't seem like quite as relevant to what's happening in America at the moment, or even related to America. For instance, The Orphan Master's Son, which was written by Adam Johnson. That won the Pulitzer Prize in 2013. That seems to me much more a novel about North Korea than about America. America does play a part in it, but yeah, so it's a slightly unusual choice for the Pulitzer Committee. One of the other things that separates the Pulitzer from many literary awards is that the award can be won posthumously. So there are a few people in its history that have won the award. Like William Faulkner is one that comes to mind. He's one of 4 authors to win the Pulitzer Prize twice, and but the second one was awarded posthumously. Okay. So just a few things that I'm going to ask you to extend some grace to me when I talk about the Pulitzers and when I talk about my own Pulitzer journey. Just some things for you to keep in mind and be aware of. So when I was doing my Pulitzer project, this is the information that I had. So you can see, I mean, and this is of course from Wikipedia, but I mean there were other places to read about it, but this was primarily what I was going off of. Now when you print anything about the Pulitzer Prize for fiction, there's photos, and there's also more of the books that were finalists have been released since I did the Pulitzer Prize project, the bulk of the reading of the Pulitzer Prize winners. So that started in December of 2007, and I finished in February of 2010. Hope that's, yeah, that's right. Okay. So I thought I was going to be able to do it in a year. I have no idea why I thought that. But anyway, so there's so much more information now, especially about the years where a book was recommended to win and didn't win, that I didn't have access to. I never, ever, when I was doing the Pulitzer Prize project, I never imagined to be making videos about these books. Ever. So, and also please keep in mind, so aside from the recent winners since 2010, I have not reread any of the Pulitzer Prize winners since then. I do think there's one that I've read twice, and that is Angle of Repose by Wallace Stegner. I love this book, and I'm sure I will be reading it again in the future. It is a book that speaks to us differently, I think, at different times in our life. So this is a great book. And so I've read that one twice, but otherwise I haven't reread any of them. And I wasn't as discerning of a reader when I read these books as I think I am now, especially because I know I have to talk to all of you about them. I already know that some of you are going to object to some of the books that I think are the best and the worst, or in certain categories, I guess, and that's okay. That's fine. But I do want you to realize and remember that, again, it's been 11 years since I have read the vast majority of the books that make up the Pulitzer Prize for fiction. So, like I said, I hope that you can extend some grace and understanding that it's been a long time since I've read many of these books. I did create a blog when I was doing, don't go looking for it. It's not out there anymore. I did create a blog and wrote reviews on that. But unfortunately, when I took the blog down, I also copied all of my posts off. So I'll be sharing some of my initial comments, or the books that I don't remember very well. I'll be looking back over those. So there's the introduction to the 1918 to 2020 Pulitzer Prize series of videos. If you have questions for me, please feel free to leave them down in the comment section below. And again, watch for the next video, which will be about, again, my own reasons and experiences of reading the Pulitzer Prize for fiction. BookTube, remember to be kind to yourself, be kind to others, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.